What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Abbott Elementary Season 2, episode number 15, and the episode is titled Fire. So before we get into this review, you guys, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. Do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss Abbott Elementary, shall we? All right, you guys, so we open up the episode and we see Jacob. So Jacob is walking through the hallways and Jacob is, his chipper self, right? And Ava's like, yeah, Jacob, not today, because today is already on my nerves because Ava saw this woman with a crooked wig. So Ava tried to take a picture of the woman's wig. Her phone fell and cracked. And Ava tried to tell the woman to pay for her phone being cracked because she wanted to take a picture of that woman's crooked wig. And the woman was like, girl, basically leave me alone or I'm gonna call the cops on you, right? So then Jacob offered them some carrot cookies. And I was like, you mean carrot cake? He said, no, carrot cookies. I was like, ew, that sounds nasty. So while they're talking, the fire alarm goes off, right? And, Janine was like, there's not a fire drill today. And Gregory was like, nope, he memorized it. I was like, okay, Gregory, what do you do in your spare time, right? So they're getting ready to get the kids out of the school, right? And Ava comes running through talking about, hoo, there's a fire. And she got her stuff and she is leaving. And she's running out the door. And so they all walk outside the door and they see Ava in her car zoom by. Gregory's like, she's not coming back, is she? And Janine was like, she's not. I was like, y'all know damn well Ava ain't coming back, right? So then we find out, so the fire department came out, right? Because it was actual, like I said, it was an actual real fire. So they came out and the fire actually started in the teacher's lounge. So the reason that the fire got started is because there was a candle there and there was a shawl. And Janine was like, that's Barbara's shawl and that's Barbara's candle. Oh my God, somebody is working to blackmail Barbara. And Melissa's like, you mean set her up? That's not the word she said. What did Melissa say? I forgot what Melissa said, but it's basically a setup, right? But she was like, semantics. I was like, Janine, that's not the same thing. A cover up. That's what it is, right? Yeah. Those are not the same things, Janine. But okay. So let's pause here and move forward, you guys. So Melissa noticed a fire truck, right? So I guess Melissa at one point in her life wanted to be a fire person. And I don't know what the correct term these days is. Well, I guess firefighter, right? Yeah. So she wanted to be a firefighter. Her uncle was big in the fire rescue, right? So she went and got her students and told them, let's go on an excursion. And they were like, what's an excursion? She said, just drop your backpacks. So they all just dropped their backpacks and ran outside, right? And it was funny because when she walked up to the fire truck, she was like this big, big fine hunk of steel, right? And the fireman looked like, I was like, so you thought she was talking about you? So there's this woman that came down from the district, right? And she's a trauma counselor. So Gregory is going to be the interim principal, and Ava Coleman is gone for the day, right? So what the trauma counselor is doing is she's just going around talking to everybody after the fire to make sure that everybody is good, right? So she talked to Jacob in his class. She went and talked to Barbara, who said she was fine. And then the woman started writing something down. She's like, that's a lot more than I'm fine. It's I'm fine. One of them is two words. One of them is a contraction, right? So the woman eventually left, and then she went to Janine's classroom. When she went to Janine's classroom, Janine is talking about the situation with her mother and her sister, the fact that she and Mo went out to a restaurant, and guess what they had there? She said, a fire. She said, no, a mariachi band. I was like, Janine, I think you might want to talk to a therapist. I think you might want to go see a therapist, right? So then the counselor went to go talk to Gregory, and she's telling Gregory, like, somebody they're not really handling this fire situation all that so well. He was like, Janine. She's like, no. I mean, she has other issues, but no, not her. He said, Jacob. She says no. He said, Mr. Johnson. She said, that man is so well put together. She said, it's Barbara. He said, Barbara? Barbara is the most, together person that we got here. And while they're talking, who comes in? Barbara. To once again let this woman know that she is fine. And in that moment, I was like, nah, Barbara, you're not fine. It's something that Barbara is dealing with that Barbara is not telling us. Now, it's not necessarily the fire itself, but I'm like, Barbara is definitely, dealing with something, right? So let's pause here and let's move forward. So we see Gregory, and Gregory went to go to Barbara's room to check on her, right? And Barbara tells him that, she's good. And he tells her, okay, well, we have a fire safety meeting today. And she was like, I'm a tenured person and you are not the principal, sir. So how about, we just let me stay in my classroom and I don't come. So he was like, no, it's mandatory. She's like, actually, Miss Ava. So then we see Gregory, right? So he's talking to Janine, and he's telling Janine that, the trauma counselor told him that Barbara's just not handling this situation that well. And Janine was like, she doesn't know what she's talking about because she told me that I needed therapy. And he was like, right. I was like, Janine, take her advice, my love, because you need therapy, sis. You need so much therapy. You need somebody to talk to because there are so many issues that Janine is dealing with that she tells everybody who can hear, who's of the hearing impaired, who's not hearing impaired, right? I think Janine would even talk to someone who's hearing impaired. Seek therapy, Janine. That's all I got to say, right? So Melissa is, she's into this fire safety thing, right? Now, when they showed the slides, she's like, what kind of fire would have sunglasses on? I'm like, not Janine, but Melissa. It ain't that deep, right? So then the fire chief, he's basically talking to them about, fire safety, fire prevention, and, keeping things, basically banning things that can cause an open flame, which would be Barbara's candle. And Barbara's like, I've been lighting candles for 20 years here and never had an issue just until today, right? Because what happened is Barbara got a phone call and Barbara stepped away to take the phone call. So the shawl, now I'm kind of confused. Did the shawl dip into the flame? But I don't know, right? So Barbara got up and read that man for filth and walked out the classroom. So when Barbara walked out, Melissa followed in behind to check on Barbara, right? I forgot to mention to you guys, at one point in this episode, Melissa and her students were outside by that fire truck. When they ran out there to the fire truck, she wanted to show them the jaws of life. She wanted to show them the inside of the truck. The firemen at one point were like, help. Because Jacob went out there and talked to the one that thought that, when Melissa just ran by him to the truck, he wants to feel seen, right? And so Jacob was basically telling him, he sees him. He's like, can you help me get your coworker away from our truck? So when Melissa went to go check on Barbara, Barbara told Melissa what's going on with her. So her husband had a colonoscopy. I think he had a prostate exam, right? So they were waiting for the test results. So he's been having some health issues right now. And that's what's contributing to Barbara's angst right now. And I'm glad that Melissa and Barbara have that close, that relationship where they've been working together for years, so they feel comfortable talking to each other about certain things, right? So that's why she lit the candle. And I'm guessing the phone call was about her husband, so that's why she stepped out. So it was an accident, and it could have happened to anybody, right? But unfortunately, it happened to Barbara, you guys. But let's pause here and wrap up the episode, right? Now, you guys remember, I just told you a few minutes ago that the fireman was asking Jacob for help to get Melissa away from the fire truck, right? So Jacob mentioned the Shimenti family to the fireman, right? So then he was telling them about how he threw a Frisbee up on the roof and he had them carrot cookies with him, right? The fireman grabbed them carrot cookies and they were like, why don't you take these cookies and just toss them up there? and they literally just tossed those damn cookies up there at the Frisbee. I was like, well, damn, that's, I know y'all might not want the carrot cookies, but damn, that was rude, right? So Melissa was finally able to get on the truck. She used the ladder, and Jacob was like, "Is that safe for her to do that with heels on?" And they were like, she has a hard hat on." I was like, okay, I guess, right? So the trauma counselor, we see Barbara. Barbara went up to her and thanked her for, what she did, because it actually helped Barbara, right? So she says, you can take a day off, right? And Barbara's like, in her tenure of teaching, she's never taken a day off, right? The only time she's taken a day off is when she was sick and when she went to go get her hair done, because that was an emergency. And so the lady was like, well, I've already written you a pass, right? And she said, but it has to have my name on it. She said, it's already there. I figured you would need it. So basically, the woman is giving Barbara a mental health day, but she won't tell Barbara that because she knows Barbara's type, right? So then we see Janine. So Janine went to Barbara's class with, I think it was a sunshine for my sunshine, right? And she looked and she was like, you're not Barbara. So Ava came by and told them, yeah, Barbara took the day off. She tried to send Barbara to the spot that she went to the day before because, it was a cash referral. I was like, only Ava? Like, you want to send her there so you can get the cash, right? But Barbara took the day off to spend time with her husband. And, I can't say I blame her, but really, overall, it was a good episode, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode of Abbott Elementary down in the comment section below. Please subscribe to the channel, you guys. Turn on your post notifications, share the video, and until the next time, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves, you guys. Wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the flip side.